News at 10 starts now.
An officer-involved crash, a separate chase, and a fight ends with the police shooting a 19-year-old man 4 times. Good evening, I'm Julie Tam. Looks like the Grinch has already shown up in northern Kentucky. Police say vandals in Ashland caused between $8,000 to $10,000 in damage to the city's winter wonderland of lights display in Central Park.
We like to call it sports.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Isn't that profound?
Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Mark.
Well, sometimes having a birthday too close to Christmas means it might be forgotten.
But there's no chance of that happening here. Barbie is turning 50, and the Indianapolis Children's Museum is putting on a one-of-a-kind display. Signs the economy is strengthening are showing up on Wall Street and in trade data, but many people say not when it comes to their wallets. He refused to show his ID and instead jumped over the edge of the Grand Canyon, falling 25 feet below the rim. I can't even look directly into the camera because it's just pelting me in the face. This is what is left of the door to that restaurant burned here. This light post was thrown clear across the parking lot. For now, though, the church will be meeting for Sunday service at nearby Rolling Hills Baptist Church in Lancaster. The Salina Police Department is the first North Texas department to put HD cameras in all 8 of its police vehicles. Pulling a flyer out of a tube is becoming a thing of the past. More and more people are turning to smartphones to get their information about homes for sale and for lease. But the price is twice as much, ranging from about $2,000 to more than $25,000. I have to wear sunglasses because otherwise my eyes would get hurt. If you can see on the interstate here at 35 and 30, it is building up. Some of that sleet is accumulating. It's really a slushy, icy kind of mix on the interstate, which is obviously going to be very dangerous for drivers. At the moment, we're not seeing any accidents or anyone sliding off. We are seeing people slowing down even more because obviously it's pretty dangerous if you're going to be going at any sort of high speeds here. TxDOT trucks have been going by periodically, treating these roads. These sort of bridges and overpasses are going to be the most dangerous, of course, because they freeze first. Now, if you'll take a look here beneath my feet, you can see more clearly this slushy mix here. You can see this, and it's mixed with the rain that had fallen earlier on the roads that are still sitting here. So it's very slippery, not only for vehicles, but for humans as well, if you're planning to walk along here. And if you can see, I mean, really, I'm getting pelted in the face by this sleet. The wind is blowing extremely strong, so I'm not even attempting an umbrella, just trying to keep this hood on my head here, folks. But definitely, if you can stay inside this morning, don't come out here in this because it's very dangerous. Back to you guys.
She was smart. She was everything to us.
Kimberly Carter's stepmother and father say Kim was an outgoing 29-year-old woman who took good care of her 11-year-old daughter, Siani, and loved her career in banking.
That was my baby. So I wish I had took some kind of different steps or something.
Willie Richardson feels guilt over his daughter's murder. He says Kim and ex-boyfriend Barnes Samuel Nettles got into a fight Tuesday night and she needed help. So Willie and his wife Leah drove to Kim's Arlington apartment.
As we was parking, we believe that we seen him walk behind our car and go up the stairs to the apartment.
By the time they went to open the door, they saw Officer Jillian Smith lying in blood on the living room floor. They later learned Officer Smith was shot while shielding Siani. The 11-year-old then ran out the front door and heard more gunshots. Nettles had fatally shot Kim Carter before turning the gun on himself.
I wish he could suffer. She could suffer. It's too easy for him.
Kim's parents say they reported Nettles to police numerous times for threatening and assaulting the family.
He took our daughter. He took our daughter from her daughter. He took a police officer who was young, beautiful, and on her, she was just starting her career.
Julie Tam, NBC5.
I was surprised at how easy it has been to get the miniature longhorns.
They started with full-size longhorns, and after 3 generations, they shrunk the animals down quite a few sizes, thanks to some advice from their veterinarian.
Take your longhorns and close the herd and keep the smallest ones and sell the bigger ones.
On their Denton County ranch, Bill and Sandy Buck have now bred their 9th generation of miniature longhorns. Miss Little Lady is the smallest registered Texas longhorn, just 16 pounds and 18 inches tall at birth.
Longhorns, believe it or not, are very affectionate. They get to know you, and they all have different personalities.
They get jealous of each other if you give one a little more attention than the other one.
These miniature longhorns are about half the size of a regular longhorn, but the price is twice as much, ranging from about $2,000 to more than $25,000.
The demand far exceeds the supply.
The Bucks have sold dozens of mini longhorns across the country.
A lot of them are for pets. You know, we call them lawn ornaments.
Selling minis has been more profitable than regular-sized ones, and the Bucks say the only difference is their size.
I always tell everybody, you know, everybody needs a guard cow, and the longhorn would be perfect.
In Crum, Julie Tam, NBC5. Yes, they have, and we've also found out that there are probably several businesses housed in this warehouse, so they're all affected this morning. The entire warehouse is on fire from one end to the other, from one corner to the next, and as you can see, they are still having a hard time getting this fire out. The firefighters are pouring a large amount of water into the building. The parking lot is flooded with that water. We have not heard any large explosions in the last few minutes, but probably about, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes ago, there was a loud explosion, and every time that happens, we see a huge rush of smoke and fire, the flames, sparks, all going into the air. The walls have collapsed inside this warehouse, the roof has collapsed, doors have been blown out by the explosions and this fire. So it is just an awful situation and a huge loss to these businesses that are housed in this warehouse.
How much is that smoke affecting everybody else around that building?
Well, we are actually on the east side of the building, so the wind is blowing in the opposite direction, which is actually good for us because we are not really smelling too much of the smoke, but we do see it traveling in the direction that you mentioned, northwest. So for sure, the folks that are going to be over there are going to smell